Most traders who blow their accounts are not underprepared. They studied harder and added more to their trading than the traders who actually made money. I spent 4 years adding indicators, time frames, and trading strategies because I was convinced thoroughness was the cure. But I was treating the wrong disease. When I stripped it to 3 yes or no questions, the simplicity felt like an insult until I looked at what the most profitable traders were actually trading with. One of the most consistently profitable traders has been in the market for over 40 years, and his charts are almost completely empty. Peter Brandt has traded classical chart patterns since the 1970s on clean daily charts with hand-drawn levels and nothing else on the screen. Traders who study his method expect to find a complex engine underneath the results. What they find instead is a man drawing chart patterns by hand on a screen with nothing else on it. That gap between a cluttered screen and a clean one has a name. I call it the question tax. Every indicator on your chart is a question you are forcing yourself to answer before you can act. And each additional question just makes you less certain of the answer you already had. At 3 questions, you decide in about 30 seconds and you trust it. At 12, you are still staring at the contradictions 15 minutes later, telling yourself, just one more confirmation. And the setup you are looking at has already moved. Cluttered charts are a silent tax on every single trading decision you make, and the bill arrives as hesitation, second guessing, and missed setups that your clean chart self would have taken without a second thought. The fewer questions you ask, the faster you decide. When a trading process stops working, the first instinct is to add something. And that instinct has destroyed more trading accounts than any single bad trade. When Steve Jobs walked back into Apple in 1997, the company had over 40 different products and was weeks from shutting down. Printers, handheld devices, monitors, a dozen different Macintosh variations. Every single product existed because someone smart had made a reasonable case for it. And every reasonable case was slowly bleeding the company to death because none of them were getting enough focus to be great. Jobs chose subtraction. He walked into a room and drew a 4-square grid on a whiteboard. 2 columns for consumer and professional, 2 rows for desktop and laptop, 4 products. Everything outside that grid got cancelled in a single afternoon. Engineers who had spent years building those products watched them disappear. The board thought he was destroying what was left of the company. But within 2 years, Apple went from $1 billion annual loss to its first profit in years. And the first product born from that simplified grid became one of the best-selling computers ever made. The turnaround came from the grid and the courage to delete everything that didn't fit inside it. Your trading chart carries the same pattern, and every indicator you've added a reasonable case behind it is making the next trading decision harder than it needs to be. I call this the complexity prescription. It's the pattern where every addition to your trading feels like medicine, but is actually a side effect of creating the need for more medicine. You add an indicator because the chart feels unclear, and the indicator contradicts your reading, so you add a second one to break the tie. Now you have 3 opinions to reconcile instead of one clean decision. So you add a time frame filter to settle the argument. And eventually, you are not trading anymore. You are refereeing a room full of voices that never agree. This pattern is invisible while you are inside it because every addition feels like a smart move at the time. But when I measure it across my trading career, the biggest improvements all came from removing something. Simple, rules-based trading approaches are what survived. After years of building a more complex trading process, I deleted almost everything in a single afternoon. What I expected to feel was relief. When I started trading, price charts looked like a foreign language. With trading candlesticks, I couldn't read, and levels I couldn't see. So I did what any problem solver would do. I added help, first with indicators, then more indicators, then different indicators stacked on top of those, because the first batch kept contradicting each other. For a while, it felt like progress, because a full screen felt thorough, but each tool was giving me a different answer, and instead of choosing one, I kept adding another, hoping it would break the time. I had indicators arguing with each other on my charts while I sat there waiting for a consensus that never came, and I blew up my account. I remember closing the tab slowly, and the instinct afterwards was not to simplify. Somewhere in my head, the thought just sat there. The right combination is one indicator away. That's what the complexity prescription looks like from the inside. Every addition feels like the one that will finally fix it. The form this takes is different for every trader. Some stack indicators, some add timeframes, some rotate strategies every losing streak, and the 3-minute diagnostic quiz in the description identifies which version is running in yours. Check it out with the link in the description below. But the engine underneath is always the same. You keep asking more questions because you don't trust the answers you already have. When I finally cleared everything and sat in front of a blank chart, the feeling was closer to panic than confidence. The screen was clean, and there was nowhere to hide, no indicator to confirm what I wanted to hear. How is this enough? That thought came almost instantly, because a part of me was still convinced that simplicity meant I was missing something important. But the chart was clear. Price was moving in a direction and sitting at a level that mattered, and it was forming a shape I could read. 3 questions. Is the trend clear? Is price at a level that matters? Is there a signal worth risking money on? If any answer came back no, I closed the charts and walked away. That was the entire trading process I'd spent years trying to build, and it had been sitting underneath everything I'd piled on top of it the whole time. Across 21 markets, the entire process takes less time than it used to take me just to open all my indicator windows. Yes or no? No room for maybe, no room for close enough. And what still sits with me is that I was never bad at trading. I was good at complicating it. The disease and the treatment were the same thing. The trader who subtracts has already done the hard work. They've just stopped carrying what they don't need. And when the only thing on your screen are price and your 3 answers, there is nothing left to argue about. You either have a trade or you don't. And closing the charts when you don't have a trading opportunity feels like something you've earned. But when you do have a trade, the instinct to complicate comes back. You need to enter it, size it, and walk away without touching it. Because that urge to interfere is the old pattern trying to restart. So watch this video next, where I show you the execution system that makes walking away automatic. See you in that video.